Okay, so I've been teaching in the Netherlands video game programming for about 8 years. And the industry has been changing in the meantime. So I remember eight years ago when I started, there wasn't a big indie thing, and now it's become huge. I started off with Apple and their App Store, and they opened it to anybody. Then another thing was that I gave a talk at GDC in 2013, I think it was. I gave the retro post-mortem thing. They always have this session because actually you could say that's the point where I started to really deal with my past and what it meant to me. Shahid Akmal was part of the strategic content team. I think he kind of almost formed it. And he's done great work at getting Sony to help indies. He saw this video, tweeted a very nice comment about it. We talked a bit, and before I knew it, I had a Vita development kit. But I just kind of took that code base, I ported it over to the Vita, and then I was in contact with Abriel, and so we started to put this together. When I met Abriel da Costa, he was already working with Eric Shahi on Another World, and that's actually been released now, and it did very well. And there was a bit of an eye-opening moment actually at that point, because Eric was able to get the game made, got it to market, and you don't need to be top of the charts in indie to be able to make a living from it. And I'm going, now's the time, isn't it? I mean, it was, look, you know, teaching is great and all that, but I mean, I was born to make video games. So the pre-production mode was quite long. But that's good too, because it means that I was able to try various different control systems, you know. And I was playing it on the Vita with the 2 thumbsticks, and for a long time that's the way I was planning the game. And this is why it's difficult, right? Because even though I know better, I'm human, and so I always want more. So there are 2 buttons, more control, more. And I try to fight that, but that was what I had, with these 2 controls things. And then there was also, well, let's say the camera. We can do more with a camera. We can do more. So what happened was I started developing it that way, and then I went to the World Cup in Dublin, and I competed, and I didn't come last. Do you know how close it got? I was in the playoff for the shirt of shame. And when I was listening to the feedback people were giving, and also they were anticipating that something was happening and so on, and they'd say, make it only have 1 button. And a number of people said that. And the other one was, keep the original camera view. So basically I came to my senses and redesigned the game to use 1 button and 1 stick. I made the decision right there. That's the constraint, solve the problems as a designer, to work with that constraint. So where we're at now is that we have 1 button and 1 stick, and you can do everything with that 1 press. So this makes a connection with the original game quite clearly, but it's more in a good way, because with the old, 30 years ago, the sticks that people had, they only had 8 directions. So that does make it a little difficult to aim. Maybe it's a little bit zoomed out, just a bit, because the original was very in, and also the original didn't have widescreen, it was 4:3 aspect ratio. So you've got to make some small changes to adapt to the new medium. But I'm trying to keep the heart of it. And one of the funny things is that people have mentioned, they've seen the game. Many people immediately have said, Rocket League. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Rocket League is a vehicle game. It's in 3D. The only similarity is there's a ball. I suppose it's a bit like football, but with vehicles. Okay, you could say, but there's something else. It's because if you want to be good at either game, it helps to train yourself. It helps to put some dedication in. That basically the game gives you back. I want to turn that around in the way the original did as well. It's not about the personalities. It's about you. And it's about you trying to do better. And it's about you trying to recreate that wonderful play that you have in your mind and that you know you're capable of doing when you're under pressure. Because that is the excitement of sport. It's about the victory that you feel when you manage to surpass yourself. The controls are quite simple on a certain level, but they're deep. That's what I've tried to go for, is a simplicity that's deep, so that hopefully you never really fully explore the whole potential. This is one of the sort of trademark kind of signs or whatever of the original game. So training modes, we're going to have that. We're going to have a way of playing online, obviously. You'll be able to play against your friends, or you can find a random opponent. And the most important feature with this is a ranking system, so that you can have an idea of where you are relative to other people. We're going to have a kind of global ranking, or we have a global ranking system, but it's probably more important is the one amongst your friends, isn't it? And of course, local PvP as well. And that really was the bread and butter of the original game, where you both sit there and, it's a real battle of wills between you and your friend. And hopefully your friendship survives the interaction, as well as your controllers. And so anyway, you've got your online play, your PvP, you've got practice mode, and then other game modes. And we're intending to have free DLC to sort of expand on the game over time after the release, the initial release of it. So the question here is, why am I making this game? And is it just because I'm making another football game, or is there a bigger message? And I always like there to be a bigger message, because it helps fuel my motivation. The bigger message here is there is a thing about video games. They came from roots that were the arcade machines, coin-op arcade machines, where it was about skill, where it was about trying to better yourself, where it was raising your standard, raising your abilities. This was lost, in my opinion, when indie got shut out from the industry. And it's beginning to come back. Certainly indie is back. When I look at a lot of indie games, I'm not seeing a connection to that. And it's that thing that inspired me to make video games in the first place. I want to see a revival of that kind of game.